Thanks to the supporters and channel member, Michael Beagles. Those of you who've been on the channel for a long time may be familiar with a little thing called the Kev ratio. It's very simple. When we're in a relegation battle, we like to make sure that we've always got as many points as we have games played. At the moment, we just about have after a tough start to the season. Today we play Lyon and Paris Saint Germain. I think we might be about to fall below the Kev ratio. Hello and welcome to part 44 of the Tour de France. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have those two games for you, away against Lyon and at home against Paris Saint Germain. Since you were last with me, this has been the start to our season. As you can see, we're not exactly full of goals. After giving away that first day victory in the previous episode and then losing to Lille, we only managed to draw at home to Clermont, which was worrying. I think Clermont will be getting relegated this season. But we were able to turn it around with a 2-1 win away against Rennes, thanks to an inspired performance from Oliver Vaquero, re-debuting for the club 3 years on and picking up 2 assists. He was phenomenal in that match, linking up beautifully with Nguema as well. Really, really good stuff. And then we were actually really good in this 2-0 defeat against Monaco, when you consider we were down to 9 men. Vita got sent off for a second yellow card after just 7 minutes, and then Fowry followed him with half an hour still to go. It wasn't until the 89th minute that Monaco actually got their second goal through Renato Sanchez. When you look at the team that they've got and what they did to us last time, and consider that despite having not enough players, we actually looked like we might survive in that game, it gave me some hope. But unfortunately, we did lose, and now we've got 2 key players suspended for this Lyon game. The other thing that's happened since you were last with me is the transfer window is closed. We've done a couple more pieces of business. Bridge and Dilu has gone out on loan until the end of the season. And we've signed Zinedine Ould Khaled, who is another defensive midfielder / central midfielder. We're really bringing him in just for an extra body to sit at the base of the midfield. And not a moment too soon, as we've obviously had Fowry now pick up a red card and a suspension, having already missed games this season for an injury and for being at the Olympics. Despite being one of our best players, Fowry has only played 3 times this year and misses another match today. It's not ideal. So this is the team for the game against Lyon. We're going with Diaz in goal. I mean, at the moment, I don't see a reason to bring Majeki into the team. Yes, he's 3.5 stars, so theoretically he is a little bit better than Diaz. But Diaz has been playing really, really well. We obviously spent a lot of money on Diaz. If we look at a comparison of them on the good old Polygon that you know I love so much, Diaz is actually a better shot stopper. He's got better distribution. He's level with him for communication and mental. The only area Majeki is really ahead of Diaz is aerially. He's 6'4", which obviously really helps. But he's actually not as good a shot stopper. His distribution's not as good. So I'm struggling to, despite the extra half a star, I know this isn't like me at all, but despite the extra half star, I'm reluctant to make the change until it becomes obvious I need to make the change. At the moment, I don't think it is obvious because I think Diaz is playing quite well as the man in possession. It's not like we're conceding loads of goals. So at the moment, Diaz keeps his spot. So Diaz is in goal. A back four of Cisse, of course, deputising for the suspended Vita. Deleste, Matsima and Van der Merch. Renault at the base of the midfield with Vaquero and Traore ahead of him. We're looking for another big performance from Vaquero today. And then Nguema and Lemina supporting Double Steve up front. Balde did score on debut in that match that we won. But at the moment, I'm keeping Double Steve in the team ahead of him. But if Balde comes off the bench and grabs a goal again, then expect to see him take that spot off of Double Steve. But ultimately, Baldy's our player, and we spent £500,000 on him. It's a lot of money for us. If Double Steve's not going to score, we may as well have our own guy up there who's not going to score very often either, and just accept that we maybe don't score very often. But we are expecting 2 defeats today. What we'd like is to just not get completely humiliated. If we manage to look quite good, like we do here, then all the better. We had the opportunity 20 seconds onto the clock to take a lead there, and we actually do have a corner. It's going to be Lemina looking for the in-swinger to that far post where it eludes everybody, and Nguema is going to be there on the edge of the area to try and get it back into the penalty area, but I suspect yeah, the highlight just peters out. But we've not, like I say, we've not been humiliated by anybody yet. I am fully aware we've got Paris Saint Germain coming up in the second half of this episode, and Leon could do it to us yet. But I am pretty happy with the way that we're playing. Even some of these matches that we've not got a positive result on, we've looked pretty good when it's come to the match stats. I am aware we're losing after 3 minutes here, but we're missing 2 of our best players as well. We're going to get absolutely smashed twice today, aren't we? And then the problem is going to be dragging the morale back up, having played Monaco, Lyon and PSG in back-to-back matches, which we absolutely should lose all 3 of them. But then you look at the match that comes after, whatever that may be, and it becomes that little bit harder to turn things around for a match like that. And we really are relying on Le Havre, Clermont and Nantes to be worse than we are this season. That's what we're just hoping. We just need 2 teams to be worse than us in this league this year. Even if we end up finishing in that relegation playoff spot, what a nice way it would be to finally break my playoff duck. If we win a relegation playoff to stay in the league, that counts. That counts as finally winning a playoff after all this time. And it's looking more and more likely we are going to be very much in the midst of a big relegation battle, as we are struggling here today. Renault is really not up to sitting at the base of the midfield for a game like this, but we just don't have the strength in depth. What I'd really like is for Traore to be there, for Quero to be there, and Fowry in there. But obviously, with Fowry suspended, we're doing what we can with what we've got. And I mean, it's only 2-0. We've not been humiliated yet. The game is still young, though. At least we've still got 10 men on the pitch. That's big progress from the Monaco game. We've not had anybody sent off yet, which really is quite nice. They've got in between our centre-backs here again, though, and Diaz is there to push the ball over the crossbar. Like I say, he's not making mistakes. He isn't looking awful. It might just be one of those things where, because we're so much worse than the opponents that we're playing, it might end up making Diaz look quite good, because the game isn't looking for silly goals to balance the scores in the favour of the opposition. It's, we're going to be defeated regardless. It doesn't need to make the goalkeeper look silly. And once again, he's the best player on the pitch at the moment. He's made some good saves. The new boy is going to have to be patient and wait for his opportunity. Frankly, he shouldn't have got injured before the season started. He would have been my starter if he'd have been available at the start of the season. But Diaz has got in. He's done well, and he'll keep his spot for now. We've got multiple good goalkeepers, I think. I've not seen Majecki play yet. He might be an absolute liability. He's not as good a shot stopper as Diaz. We know that much. Right, 70 minutes gone. It's time for some substitutions. Bradley Barcola's coming on. That's a fairly regular change for us. We're going to bring on Big Willie at right back as well. And we're probably not going to change too much else because, again, strength in depth, not what it could be at this club. But we are on the attack here. Cisse to Lemina from the throw. And now Traore gives the ball away, but Cisse is there to pick up the scraps. And now Renault plays Cisse in. It's across from Cisse. Barcola's there, but it's headed clear. And now Leon have got the opportunity for a counter-attack. I was going to say it's 2-on-2, but there was actually multiple players down this bottom half of the screen that I couldn't see. Behind all this nonsense, Quero is now shattered. So we're going to have to make a couple more changes in a minute. I think we're probably going to get 2-2 on. The new midfield player is likely to come on. We've got Lopi. I think Lopi's on the bench today. No, Lopi's not on the bench today. Why is Lopi not on the bench? Is Lopi on the pitch? No, he's not. What's going on? Where is Lopi? Ask Kev, what have you done with Lopi? What's the thinking behind him not being there? We're 3-0 down now. This is now our heaviest defeat that we've suffered so far this season. It is our first time away from home against one of the big teams. And we are still outside of the relegation zone, so that's fine. If we make it through this episode, still outside of the relegation zone, I'm going to be absolutely delighted. Right, here's going to come. We're going to shuffle everything around a little bit. In fact, we'll do that, I think. And then we've got Tutu, who should also be coming on really here. I really need to get Quero off, but at the same time, I want to get Tutu on and give him the opportunity, give him 10 minutes to see if we can grab a consolation goal. It's obviously all it's going to be at this point. We've changed our entire front three now. Really just looking for combinations that might lead to a few goals going in. One thing you'll have seen when we looked at the schedule before the match started is we are not scoring a lot of goals. Not that you would expect us to do, because we're not getting a lot of the match either. But it would be nice to score a goal here. There you go. There's your first mistake from Diaz. To me, that looks straight at him. I'm gonna have to have a think before the Paris Saint Germain game, because the Paris Saint Germain game is going to be hideous regardless. They've got Erling Haaland in their team, and I don't know if you saw the video that came out on the channel yesterday, but we did establish. I think probably the first person in the Football Manager community to establish this. We did establish Erling Haaland is quite good at football, so there is something of a threat from Erling Haaland up front for Paris Saint Germain. Diaz now lumping it forward, looking for 2-2, can't find him. Can we not? Oh, don't send him off, ref. We don't need another red card. Vaquero's got away with one there. I think he's kind of clunked into the back of the Lyon player, and it was just tiredness. That's all it was, and we have got away with it. And now, who's that? Is that 2-2 this time? No, it's Vaquero again. He needs to calm himself down. Can we just bring him off to sit on the bench? I know we've not got another substitute ref, but if we could just bring Vaquero off, we could really do without him being suspended for Paris Saint Germain. I think we might need him. Not that it's going to make much of a difference, because, oh my word, we've just been absolutely thumped. Time for more of the same. Well, we have some tired little legs off the back of the Lyon game. Traore suspended. Van der Merch is tired. Vaquero is tired. But we do have Vita and Fowry back from their suspension. So many changes. Vita comes back in at the back. Big Willie going in at right back. David Carter's going to be at the base of the midfield. Give him a try there. Now Delest is fit again. Maybe Carter can reinvent himself as a deep-lying playmaker. Fowry comes back in midfield alongside Lopi, who we did find knocking around, having a little rest of his own. The front three remains unchanged. I'm sure the Paris Saint-Germain team can't be that scary. What's the worst that could happen here? Remember, the goal of the... Oh, sugar plums. Remember, the goal of the save is to ultimately topple this team with a team of homegrown French players that we put together without spending loads of money as well. It'll be fine. We'll look back on this one, because this is the first time we faced Paris Saint-Germain. We never even faced their B team on the way up through the pyramid. So this is our very first encounter with Paris Saint-Germain. We will look back on this in years to come as the comparison. When we win Ligue 1 for the first time, when we win the Champions League, we'll look back on this moment and remember just how far behind Paris Saint-Germain we were when we got promoted to Ligue 1. And it'll make it feel all the sweeter in the future when we are fantastic. And Erling Haaland's long since retired, and we are the greatest team French football has ever seen. That's the goal. I'm talking like this because the alternative is accepting what's likely to happen on the pitch today. And frankly, I want to largely ignore what's going to happen on the pitch, because it just feels like they've got a team that can score when they want. There's not really much we're going to be able to do to stop them. The difference in quality of player between the two teams is remarkable. It's hard to believe that these two teams are in the same league when you look at the players they've got available. The French league is bonkers. I was tempted to ask if this is what it's like in real life, but I know from the Kylian Mbappe save that we're doing just how unlikely it is for PSG to lose games domestically, because they are so far ahead of everybody else in the league. And it's just going to put into focus just how big of a job we've got on our hands here, I guess. We've held our own quite nicely for the first half hour here. Half an hour, God, it's still 0-0. And look at us knocking the ball around like we know what we're doing. And Guema has come very deep and very central, playing the ball to Double Steve. Now, Double Steve is in behind here with the chance to put it past Donnarumma. And I don't understand what I'm seeing. It is currently Tour 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. And Double Steve is better than Erling Haaland. And now we all believe it. Goodness me. What on earth is going on? What a time to be alive. Noah Lemina, by the way, on loan from Paris Saint-Germain, as he has been for the last several years, picking up the assist. He knows There is not a chance he ever gets anywhere near this Paris Saint Germain first team with Fati and Musiala ahead of him, amongst others. But he's on the same pitch as those boys tonight, and he has the assist, and Double Steve has the goal, and we are 1-0 up at half-time. Stop the count, please. This would be one of the greatest moments in the history of the football club, as well as going a long way towards keeping us ahead of the Kev ratio and less likely to be dragged into a relegation pickle. We'd love all that. But I suspect PSG are going to wake up in this second half and we're going to see the real version of them. It's not like they've put the reserves out because they expect to beat us, and there we go. I shouldn't have dissed Musiala. I'd still take Lemina ahead of him. Honest, I would. It's 1-1, and I suspect the floodgates are now open. We've poked the bear. We've angered them. It was the worst thing we could have done. We should have saved that goal for the 89th minute. I suspect there's more to come now. We had our little moment of fun. Just dig in, lads. Hold on. David Carter's having a very good game, sat in front of the back four. That might be... I remember when he first broke into the team long ago. That is where we used him. And then we kind of stopped using that role. So he became a centre-back. He's definitely capable of playing that role. We're going to stick Fowry out onto the left-hand side. Ian Gomez coming on in midfield. We've got some very tired legs out here. We're going to bring on Barcola and Baldi. We're going to leave 2-2 on the bench for now. Expect to see him before the match is done. But for now, we leave things as they are. And we've got a corner, and it's Lopi with the in-swinger. I don't know who that was we had there at the near post. Barcola. I don't know why Barcola stood at the near post. It should be Big Willie. He'd be ideal for that position. It's almost as if I need to have a fiddle with my set piece instructions. There is Gomez slotting it through nicely to Baldi. And now, I mean, Lopi's gone for that. And I feel like it probably should have been Barcola, who seemed to check his run inexplicably. Deleuze now playing it forward to Lopi. And now David Carter. And Deleuze Carter's had a very, very good game. He has just been keeping everything nice and tidy in front of the back four. This is exactly what we need from somebody playing in that role. And now he's crunching it on Erling Haaland and got himself sent off. I mean, if he's injured Haaland, I'll still claim it's a good game. I think in this situation, we probably bring Fowry back in there. And Gomez can probably play there. And we'll just stick Barcola up front. And we'll do that. It's not going to end well from here. It's really not going to end well from here. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. I still think David Carter had a good game. But I think we're probably going to get ripped apart from here. It's similar to what happened against Monaco. We're so far off the pace against these bigger and better teams that stuff like that is going to happen. We're just going to lunge into tackles that we shouldn't be lunging into because we're not really good enough to be playing against these teams. I'm looking at the bench. There's no one here I really want to bring on. I guess we could bring Cisse on for Vita to try and stop him getting sent off again. It feels harsh to not bring Tutu on, but there's not really anyone to bring him on for now. I've changed both the strikers. I'm not playing with any wingers on at the moment. I guess we could bring Khaled on for Lopi and swap those two round just to keep some energy in there. And remember, we are not currently losing. We kind of just need to dig in and try and hold on. I mean, it's a fantastic result if we can hold on. It is PSG with the free kick, though. And there's Diaz again, justifying his selection in goal, pushing the free kick wide. We've got to hold on for another 3.5 minutes with 10 men. And the corner comes in and the header goes over. Our next opponents, Le Havre, are currently losing. This will be a superb result for us. We've just played against Paris Saint Germain with 10 men and not lost. I am the greatest football manager player in the history of the world. And that was my proof. Yes, you still haven't seen me win a game this season, but it's coming. We're not in the relegation zone. Come on. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.